In terms of occupational hazards at all, there's very rare physical occupational hazards, certainly when you're a general manager of a team. But when you pull off a trade like the one for Jamison Williams, or you get Aiden Hutchinson in your lap, second overall pick, and then there's Dan Campbell ready to celebrate, do you have to brace yourself? Do you have to set your feet like you're taking a charge? Walk me through that process, Brad, in the draft
Well,
room.
I will say Dan sometimes, he'll give me a little bit of a warning, a little bit.
What do you mean?
I'm often sitting next to him, and
Right.
It's not a warning about what's going to happen, but he might say, hey, it got some hair standing up on the back of my neck, or I got so. Once I hear that, I'm like, okay, something could happen at any moment. But it is the best. It's the best feeling when he's excited, and we communicate about everything, and we make sure that we're making the right decisions on everything. But we're so aligned with everything. But it is a joy to see him get excited, and especially about. When you get into player acquisition and make sure that, the players that we're acquiring, fits his vision and his philosophy. It is a joy to watch.
So you haven't had a moment, like say in your first two drafts in Detroit, like second round Friday night, you're like, why does that arm hurt? What's going on with and like, oh, that's right, that was last night's first round pick. Like that, you haven't had one of those moments yet?
I haven't had one of those. Now,
Okay.
I remember, last year with the Penei Sewell pick,
right.
I believe it was our president seal, Rod Wood, that I, kind of drug across the room. I don't think that would have happened with Dan. I think it would have been a little bit more forced withstood.
You got to pick your spots, Brad. You got to pick your spots. I understand.
You got to pick your battle.
But I got to be honest with Campbell last year, Brad. It was obviously first year head coach. There were times where end of game scenarios might have gone a little fast and things of that nature. Those things happen the first year head coach. But one thing that you definitely saw, team never gave up. I mean, you might have been blown out in one game at home. I think it's the Eagles or something like that. But but everything else, never, ever, ever could put the Lions away and then ever give up. And they were always exciting. The games were always intense. And even when things, like I said, got a little out of joint in the first half, second half, different story. Never any quit. It was clear everybody was buying what was being sold. Brad, I wonder what your opinion of that is.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Dan is, I've said from day one, there's just some elite traits that you have as a head coach, and those are one of them in terms of players believing, players buying in, and really wanted to play for him, and really willing to run through a wall for him, and that's always I said a long time about if you go back to. If you looked at our practices, in weeks like 16 and 17, and, you see we got a young roster, but even, the more veteran players on our roster, coming out in practice, and the energy in practice late in the season, we weren't playing for anything, it was incredible. And that's when you really know it's like, all right, you're cooking with some gas now, because, you have a guy like Dan who these players love, they believe in, and he's so authentic in everything that he does, and it is, and it equates to the games now. Yeah, we had the Philly, and you could even throw in, when we played Cincinnati at home. But besides that, I thought that we kind of pushed everybody to the brink and gave them the game, and we want to lay a foundation of what we want to be about as a team, as a culture. We want to be a gritty group. And I do believe we got that foundation laid. And then we just got to keep doing our part. And we got to keep, making sure the culture's right. We got to keep adding pieces and improving our roster and just control what we can control.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.